What's up, 7th grade? Mr. Agnos here. This video is for homework 9-1, and in this unit we are going to be talking about inequalities. I'm going to write that word. Inequalities. It means when two things are not equal. The whole last unit was about solving equations, things that were equal, right? When you have an equation, we have 2 plus 5 equals 7. The reason that we call that an equation is because everything on the left-hand side is worth the same as everything on the right-hand side. If I gave you $2 and then $5, and then I give somebody else $7, well, I've given you both the same amount of money, right? This is an equation. But what if I like one person better than the other, and I gave this person $3, and then I gave them 5 more? This is no longer true, right? This is no longer true. And so we need a whole new set of symbols to describe this situation, right? We can't use an equal sign anymore. That's where inequalities come in. They basically mean unequal. So we have 4 new symbols. So we take out the equal sign and we replace it with 4 because we have 4 different situations. The first symbol that we have is what we call the greater than symbol. And think of it as an alligator opening its mouth and it's going to eat the bigger meal, right? And math is a language. It goes from left to right. So what this is saying is that the left-hand side is greater than the right-hand side. The next symbol we have is greater than or equal to. And again, make sure you're writing this down on a piece of scratch paper or in your notebook. Greater than or equal to. The next symbol we have is a less than, and again, whatever's on the left is less than whatever's here on the right. We always go left to right. And you guessed it, the last symbol is less than or equal to. So now instead of one option, right, having an equal sign, we have one of these 4. And so we need to be able to read the question and sort of interpret which one of these symbols is necessary. Okay? So again, pause the video, write those down, and remember we go left to right. So this is saying whatever's on the left is greater than the right. This is saying whatever's on the left is greater than or equal to what is on the right. This is saying whatever is on the left is less than what's on the right. And this is saying whatever's on the left is less than or equal to what is on the right. And again, if you need to pause, go ahead and pause right now. Okay, so let's look at what they want us to do with this first type of question. It says the number of people signed up to go on a trip is at least 18. So again, remember, we read from left to right. So we have the number of people, that's on the left-hand side. So I'm going to write hashtag people. That means number of people is at least 18. So we need to figure out this at least part. Whatever this number is, it has to be at least 18. So could it be 10? No, because that's not at least 18, right? Could it be 18? It could. It could, and that's the reason, and that's important because now we know that we could use the one with the little line under it, right? It has, because it could be 18. Could it be 19? Yep. 20? Yeah, sure. Could it be 500? Sure. We have enough buses. So we are looking for this number to be greater than or equal to this number, right? It can be 18, but it could also be 19 or 20 or 21. So the number of people is at least 18. So I click on my choice. Got it. So just remember, you're always going to do it from left to right. They're going to give you some unknown here, and they're going to give you a number here. And then they're going to give you some type of wording. You know, something is at most, no greater. You know, we need, you know, at least, at most, no more than, right? They're going to use all kinds of words like that. And so to think to yourself, well, would this number work? Would this number work? And see what makes sense. And that will tell you which symbol you need to use. I don't know why they included this symbol. This is the not equal to symbol, right? I could say like 7 is not equal to 8. I don't think we need this symbol in this unit. It sort of I don't know, it just confuses things. So don't worry about that one. Focus on these four. I don't believe that one comes up. Okay, let's turn our attention now to actually solving inequalities. Now, the cool thing about solving an inequality is you solve them exactly the same way you solve equations, by doing the opposite, right? I tie the shoe, you untie it, by using the inverse operations. So this one's pretty simple. It says solve the inequality x plus 1 is less than 7. So let's write this as an equation. Let's write it as an equation and say, well, how would we solve this, right? Well, we do the opposite. Since we're adding, we're going to subtract, and we get x is equal to 6. All right? The problem is, for this inequality, this isn't true, right? Because 6 plus 1 is 7, not less than 7. So we do have to make a little adjustment, and that's where we're going to, that's where a graph is going to come in. Because there's actually an infinite number of answers to this inequality. 2 plus 1 is less than 7. 4 plus 1 is less than 7. Negative 5 plus 1 is less than 7. So we need a graph to clearly display our infinite set of answers. All right, so here's what we do. We do, in fact, solve it exactly the same way we solved this one. Since I'm adding 1 to both sides, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Those cancel, and we get x is less than 6. And what this says is that x can be any number that is less than 6, right? But it can't be 6, because 6 plus 1 would be 7, and I would need the line underneath. It could be 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. It could be any number, and it could be every single negative number, and it could be 0. So we need a way to show that. So let me put in my answer first. So the bottom line is, anytime you're solving an inequality on this assignment, whether it's a 1-step or a 2-step, you're going to solve it exactly the same as you would have solved the similar equation. Now we have to graph our answer. All right, x is less than 6. So I find x is less than, there it is, and I put in 6, got it. All right, hit continue, and oh boy, look at all these graphs. I have 8 different graphs. Don't worry about it, all right? Piece of cake. All right. Our answer was x is less than 6. So what I'm looking for, all of these are number lines. Okay, so I'm going to make a number line here, and here's 6. I want every number that is less than 6. So this would be 7, and this would be 8, and so on. This would be 5, and this would be 4, and so on. So I need a way to show every number that is less than 6. And the way that I do that is by drawing an arrow in that direction. So I just draw, I want it to be a nice arrow. So I just draw an arrow in this direction, because any number that is less than 6 will work. And so you can see that some of the arrows, like this one and this one and this one, those are all pointing to the left. This one right here is pointing to the right. That's no good. This one's no good, no good, no good. And then this one. Okay, well, how do I tell which of these that is pointing to the left is the correct one? Well, number one, it has to have what I'm going to call the boundary right here at 6, right? And this one, it has the boundary starting at 7, so it can't be that one. This one has a boundary starting at 8, can't be that one. So now I've got it down to these 2, and you'll notice that one has an open circle next to it, and one has a closed circle next to it. All right, this is the last piece of the puzzle. If the number that makes up the boundary here is part of the solution, is included in the solution, then we use a closed circle. So for example, if 6 does make this equation true, then we would make it a closed circle. But it doesn't, right? Remember, 6 plus 1 is equal to 7, not less than 7. So we're going to use an open circle. What that open circle means is 6 is not included. In order for 6 to be included in the answer, there would have to be a line under this. And then you would include 6 in the answer, right? But since we don't have a line under it, this says 6 is not a solution, but 5.999 is. And in fact, every number less than 6 is. So I click on the one with the open circle. Got it. All right, open circle means the number is not included in the solution. Closed circle means it is included in the solution. Let's try another one. Let's take a look at number 11. All right. I have x minus, I don't like this, my thing is too big. X minus 20 is greater than or equal to. So right away that tells me I'm going to have a closed circle, right? My solution, whatever I get from my answer is going to be part of the solution. So I'm going to have a closed circle. Negative 14. Okay, so we solve this the same way we would solve this equation. We just add 20 to both sides, right? We do the opposite. These cancel. I get x is greater than or equal to negative 14 plus 20. I have 14 negatives, 20 positives, so that's 6 more positives, right? So this time I get x is greater than or equal to 6. So the answer could be 6, it could be 7, it could be 9, it could be 12. It could be any number that is 6 or higher. So let's go ahead and find our answer here. X is greater than or equal to 6. Got it. Now we'll go ahead and graph it. So what I like to do is I like to just on my own make a sketch. What did I say? X is greater than or equal to 6. All right. I just make a quick sketch. I draw a line. I put a number here. Here's 6. Just by coincidence, it's 6 again. Then I think to myself, is 6 part of the answer? If you have a little line underneath, then it absolutely is, right? It means x can be 6. So I put a closed circle here. And then do I want numbers that are bigger than 6 or smaller than 6? If I want smaller, my arrow goes to the left. If I want bigger, my arrow goes to the right. So I'm looking for a graph that looks like this. So nope, this one has an open circle. Nope, this one goes to the left. This one goes to the left. This one starts at 34. This one starts at negative 14. This one starts at negative 34. There it is. It's got a closed circle at 6, and it goes to the right. So there is my graph. Got it. Okay, this video is meant to be an introduction. It's not meant to teach you everything about inequalities. It is meant to show you that, hey, instead of one symbol, we now have 4. And because more than one answer will work, we now have to use a graph as part of our solution to show that. So feel free to pause, rewind, but make sure, most importantly, to ask a lot of questions in class, and we'll get through this together. All right, I will see you guys soon.